Hello my scrapping friends, and welcome to Creating Your Memories. Today I want to continue on and showing you another different technique that you can use using the pumpkin patch frame punch, and I have created that layer using this punch with the summer denim. The summer denim is only available if it was exclusive advisor paper pack, so you can approach your advisor, see if she's got a pack or how you can earn to receive one of these packs. But it has been released a little while ago. If you approach your advisor, she might have a spare one laying around. But if not, you can create this layer using any of our designer paper or cardstock. And today I'm going to show you how I created this layer, but I will be using the Croptoberfest papers. The materials that I am using today is the Pumpkin Patch Frame Punch, the Sweet Blossom Trio. This Sweet Blossom Trio punch came in the secret box number 3. And I also be using the 5-leaf decorative punch. So we'll be using these 3 punches in my layer today. I will also be using the scallop blade, a pen. I'm using the brown, so it could be either any color that you would like, the trimmer, and just some adhesive. And I'll also be using my 13 by 13 inch mat as well, just to line up some bits on the side here. Today we're going to be creating the design that I have on my border here using the pumpkin patch frame punch. So let's get started, and we'll start off with that. So I'll just put this aside. So I've got all these different colors here, so I'm just going to color coordinate as I go, but I think I might do that border in this nice leafy color with the neutrals, and on the back is the owls with the trees, and I think I might back it with this brown paper, but we'll see what it looks like once I punch it out, because I don't want the backing of the paper looking too busy and then it's going to take away the design. So to start off with, we need a piece of paper measuring 2 3/4 by 12. So I might turn that. So 2 3/4 by 12 inches is our first bit of paper that we need. And I'm also going to grab a sticky note, and you'll see why I need that sticky note once we do the punching. So I've got my frame punch here, so I'm just going to be making it and using it as a normal border. So I will be just lining my edge of the paper up on your black line that's on the plate at the front of your punch, and then I'm just going to follow it along, matching up the blue of the punch as I go. So I'm just going to punch all the way to the end. So I've done that first punch just as a normal border. So I'm just going to move all that punch poop out of the way. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I've finished punching it as I pulled it out. So then I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to get my Post-it note and put it on the edge of when I inserted my first punch. So I might just move it down a bit, as long as it's sitting on the edge of your paper, that way you can see that black line again inside your punch. So just putting that sticky note on there, I think that's got it. So then I'm going to feed that paper back in there, lining it up on that black line again and punching. So then I'm just going to go along, match it up as we go. So moving it along. So just punching just normally as a border. But when you flip it, you've got to make sure that you're using the same side that you punched your first one on. So I'm just going to move out that punch poop. So we won't need this punch anymore, so we can set that one aside. So I'm going to take my sticky note off now. So I'm going to turn this border back over. I'm going to put it on the piece of paper so you can see the design that it has made. So as you can see, it's made a beautiful heart shape in the middle, and then you still got your pumpkins on the outside. But I'm going to show you a way of using this border. You could use it just how it is, so you can see, you know, like the hearts as you're going along, because it does make a nice little decorative border. So now I'm going to cut a piece of our brown. So I'm going to use the decorative blade. So I am going to use the scallop. So I'm just going to make that first edging on the piece of paper. So then I'm going to turn my paper around, and I know that I cut that border at 2 3/4. So the next one I'm going to cut at 3 inches. And then that border sits nicely in the middle. So now we've got our punch strip, and I'm going to place it on the back of the border piece of paper that we just cut out. So I'm just going to be using a little bit of repositional tape just in the middle. I'm not too concerned about putting the repositional tape on the outside. So I'm just going to line that up in the middle, so I've got the even widths on both sides. So you can use your mat if you like, but I'm just going to eyeball it, and hopefully I get the same distance in between. So I'm just going to adhere that down. So I've used the brown, and that sits nicely. So I can go with the navy cardstock, because on my base, I'm just going through my papers, I am going to be using that oatmeal. And this nice oatmeal cardstock comes with the Croptoberfest cardstock pack. So again, I'm going to be using my decorative blade. So I've got the scallop blade in there. So I'm just going to do the first cut to get that nice edging. And then I'm going to turn it around and then cut it at 3 1/4. So I'm just going to swap over my straight blade now, because I'm finished with the decorative blade, so we don't cut anything with a decorative trim by accident. So now I'm just going to adhere the back of this border and then place it in the middle of our next one. So just making sure that you've got the same width on either side. Just move that over it just a tad. So the navy cardstock is just a tiny little bit bigger, so I'm just going to trim that off so it's all the same. So now I'm just going to bring in my backing sheet now. I'm going to bring in the 13 by 13 inch mat as well, so I can line it all up. So just going to use my tape runner, and we're going to adhere this border on our base page. So we're going to line up the cardstock on our 13 by 13 inch mat, and then adhere this down from 3/4 of an inch from the edge, making sure that it all lines up from the top, and then adhere that down. So now that we have our border half made on our left hand side of our cardstock, you could always have it on the right, you can have it on the bottom, or you might want to do that design from the top. So if you do it from the top, it's just going to look something like that, or on your right, or you can have it on the bottom. So either way that you do it, it's going to look nice. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to find a color that will suit to do my strip to make my base of my cardstock look like a border. So I just need to find a color that will suit that. So I've got all my papers here. We've used the navy cardstock, so I don't think I want to use that. I've got the blue. This is a nice edging which goes with all the colors that we have used, so I might go with that one. And then we need to bring back in our trimmer, and you want to cut 4/4 of an inch by 12 strips. So you need 4 of those. So 1/4 of an inch by 12. So I need 4. So I'm on my third cut. 1/4 of an inch by 12. And then coming down to my last cut. So now, just going to bring in this silicone mat. So I need to adhere each one of these strips. So I'm using the repositional tape. Just using, I like to do it on the sides, just a little bit issue being left-handed, because we do things a little bit different than a right-handed person. So then I'm going to line up my base page on my mat again. I think I'm going to do my sides first, and then I'll do the top and bottom. So then I just want to take that 1/4 of an inch in. So it's just lining that strip top to bottom. So then I'll do the other side. Just using a little bit of repositional, lining this back up. So 1/4 of an inch from the edge. And now the top and bottom. So lining it back up. So exactly the same, 1/4 of an inch from the edge. Oops, go down a little bit more. And now the other end. So as you can see now, putting these, you know, my little frame bits on the side, it's starting by using this designer paper that I chose, is actually a good combination using it with the border colors that I had used. So again, just lining it up on that 1/4 inch and to the other side and adhering that down. So then, as you can see, it's a good choice of color with everything combining and matching. So now that we've done most of our base page, so I'm just going to set that aside, and the next thing that we need to do by going back to my original one is making the flowers out of the blossom punch, and that one come from the secret box, or you might have another different flower punch that you might want to use. So I'm just going to go through my colors. So I might do some out of the blue cardstock, the navy blue cardstock I should say. See which punched out. So more like chop that little daisy off. So I'm just going to turn the punch upside down. So I'm just going to do randomly a few colors. So if we've got thin strips like this, sometimes it's good to turn it upside down, and that will help you find exactly where you want to punch out. So I'm going to punch out a few of these ones. This will go nice with the navy. So I'm just going to do a couple of these. And then just going back through my colours of which colours to use. There's another blue that's got some nice owls on it. Just might punch just a couple of these, I think. So I don't want to use too much blue. So I've got this stripy colour now, and that's that backgrounding, which I have got a smaller piece here which I can use. And that will look nice also doing some flowers, just something a little bit different. So I'll just punch out a couple of those. So just randomly just doing a few punch outs and then making the flowers. Okay, so we'll start off with what I have. So I'm going to bring in this silicone mat. So then just making some flowers. So I've got my big daisies, and then you've got the smaller daisies. So I can use these ones. I'm just going to be using my repositional tape. You can use the glue pen, which is also great to use. So I'm just going to line them up, turning this one over. So I might use that one, and then maybe a navy in the middle, and then the brown. So it's just making the daisies. As you can see, just making something simple like that is very effective. So I'm going to put the dark blue, I should say the navy little circle in the middle of this one, middle of that flower. I've got some of these ones. I've got the light blue and then the dark. Using this punch is quick and easy. So we'll have a little white middle. I do like the brown on the navy. Very effective. So then we'll put that, no, we need a navy dot. in the middle. So we've got another navy, and I think I have the light blue in the middle. So now we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 flowers. So I think I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to make a couple more. So I'm going to punch out some more navy. So it's up to you how many flowers that you would like to put on your layout. It could vary. You might want to put more, you might want to put less. But these flowers using this punch is very easy to make. They don't take long to put them together. And I think I want to punch out one more colour, this one here. So now that I've made some flowers out of the punch, I'm going to punch out a couple of leaves, which I am going to be using on the white cardstock. So I'm just going to punch out a few of these, depending on how many leaves that you would like to use, so it all depend. Okay, so now all I would do then is I'm going to get my brown tip pen and then just do some detailing on the leaf. Like this. Oops. With on my other layout, I didn't use the bottom leaf. I did cut it off in the end. I was planning on using it, but then I found that the leaf was a little bit too long. So I did chop it off. And I'll show you what I did there. So you're just getting in the micro tip scissors, and then I would just cut it down the end. So my leaves were just the 3 leaf, not a 5 leaf. So then, you know, I just done that little detail on every one of them, depending on what kind of design, what color pen that you would like to use. You might want to use the 5 leaf, but I did use the 3 leaf. So I'm just going to put all this aside. So I'm going to bring in my layout again, just moving everything else out of the way. So bringing in my layout, and then bringing in my finished completed layout here. I put the flowers on the side, and then you've got your leaves coming out. But I think on this one I might turn it. I do like it like this, but I think I might turn it this way just to do it a little bit different. And to do that, I'm going to bring in my foam squares. So bringing in these ones here, and then I'm going to bring in my flowers. Now, just bringing all the flowers in. Oops. So these are the flowers that we've got to use. So any colour, any combination. When I put the flowers down, I did put one in the middle of each. So I like the navy on that, and then I might go maybe the brown, so it clashes just a little bit, so I might go this blue. So I might foam square each one of those ones. So it's just sitting it straight in the middle. You might not want to, you know, cover up all this. You might just want to do the flowers just in the middle so that you still got that same design that we created with the punch, where it's got its heart. So foam square all these ones. So then I'm just going to turn it around this way so I can work with it. So then with the leaves, so I'm just going to bring in my repositional. Just put a tiny little repositional tape. And then I just had the leaves just poking out the side. So I'm just going to put the leaf on the top and the middle. Looking at that now, I'm thinking that my leaves are clashing with my the background there a little bit, so I might need to do a different color leaf, I'm thinking. So if I go back through my colors, see what I can find. Can't really use the navy because I've got the navy blue flowers, but the navy in the leaf would look really good. Just going to punch one out. So that would look really nice sitting on those ones, but not probably that one. See if I can get another leaf out of here. So I'm just going to chop that off again. I think if I didn't have a lighter background when I first punched out with the pumpkin patch punch, it would probably look a little bit better with the white leaf. So I'm just going to use this navy for these ones. So I might multi-purpose tool, might lift this one up. And this one, whoops. Okay. Need to turn my layout back around so I've got the leaves facing the right way. So I have my leaf going this way, and then this one. This one going, I think maybe that way. So now I need to find a different leaf again. I don't think I want to use the brown because the brown will clash with the other brown. Let's go through my colours. The light blue, this might work. Do that punch. So the light blue works, and I could still do, you know, that little design on the leaf. which doesn't look bad. So some repositional tape. And then I'll put that one under there. So I'm just going to layer the flowers now. Punch out some more blue leaves. So I'm just going to punch out a couple. Oops. So then trim the bottom and then just doing that little design again on the leaf. And using my repositional tape, I think I'm going to put this one here. So it's more or less going under that flower a bit. You can use that multi-purpose tool to put it under a little bit more, like that. So I might double layer the top one. So it's just, you know, putting this design work together, how you want to lay your flowers, how you want to position your leaves. You might want to, you know, like just do what I'm doing. So I just need to do something for that middle one now. So I'm just going to do the little design on the leaf. And then the other one. And then just make them a 3 leaf. So just cutting off that bottom and some repositional tape. And then putting another flower down. Might use the brown, might put the white underneath, like this. And then a leaf coming out the side. So if I just take these flowers away. So as you can see now, that looks pretty good, and the color coordination goes with each other. So you can see how different, like you wouldn't even know that that was a pumpkin punch border. They really stand out, and putting the flowers on top. So now that we've done that top bit of our border, so you can use it as the top, the side, or the bottom, or the opposite side. So now I'm just going to cut out my photo mats to put down on my layout to complete. So my photo mats that I made were just a standard 6x4, and then when I placed my photos down, I would just cut those photos down to fit to size with the mats. So just the normal size 6x4, which that's what size your photo comes in. You might want to do a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 photo mats. So with these ones, I think I might have one vertical and one horizontal, like that. So I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to adhere these mats down on my base layer. And then, so I'm going to get my centering ruler. So just lining them up. So it's the same, probably do it 1 1.25 from the bottom. Just lining that up. And then it's about 1 inch from the side. So lining this one up to meet the top of that. Or actually might center in the middle a little bit, that way I can do my little design around here and a title there, and then you'll still have enough for a bit of journaling. So I'm going to put this one, it would be 2 inches from the bottom, and then from the other photo it would be 1/4. I might change my mind. Might bring this one over a bit. So still doing 1 1/4 from the bottom. And then do it 1/2 inch from the side, 2 inches, and then still having that 1/4 gap from the photo. So it's putting my photo mats down now. Then I'll need, I'm going to trim a couple more leaves using the light blue. I might punch out a couple of navies. I'm just going to find my navy cardstock. So I might cut out a couple of the navy just to combine it with the light blue. So then, as before, the same, I'm going to trim the bottom ones off. And the same with these ones. But I will do that little draw technique on my lighter leaves. I won't worry about the darker ones, just the light ones. And then just trimming off that bottom. So then now bringing back in my flowers. So I've got a few different combinations here that I can use. So I've got a couple of navies. So I might put foam square on that one. And not actually putting the foam square actually on the corner of my photo mat. I'm just going to make sure that that foam square is sitting just from it. That way you can still put your photo underneath. So then I've got a light blue. So when I did the other one, I actually put the foam squares on all of them. So repositional on my leaf. Another one. So again, not completely on that photo mat. And then we use a different color leaves, so it just all blends in nicely. Put this one right down the end. So I'm just going to adhere that all down. Might put in another little flower, I think. Maybe there. So I'm just going to adhere this one down here. I might sit it on top. So with this one, I'm just going to put a little bit of repositional down the bottom so I can still put my photo on. And I think that is done. So then just clearing up my workspace. So I'm going to bring back in this other layout now. So as you can see, I've done that little border down the bottom, and I've done that cluster down the bottom as well with the flowers. So it's more or less the same as the one that we just completed. The only difference is that, you know, like bringing in my Croptober stickers, I can, you know, like use any one of these titles, you know, that I have here. Like I've just used Sunny Days, and you know, like I might want to put it down there, I might want to put it up top, depending on which one that I would like to use. So I would just do that. You might want to have a bigger title up the top. You've got some journaling space down the bottom that you could use, or you might want to complete a little bit of journal there, but then again you might not want to do any journal. So it depends on what you feel like. I mean, when I complete layouts, some layouts I feel that don't need journaling because the photos actually tell the whole story. So that is my completed layout using the new pumpkin, just grab that punch, the pumpkin patch punch, the frame punch, in making a nice little decorative border, using it in a different way with a little bit of a twist, and then using the 5-leaf punch and the blossom punch that we got in our secret box. So completed that using, you know, some beautiful Creative Memories paper and the Croptoberfest paper. I wasn't sure how that would turn out, but I actually really like it. It's turned out really, really good. And the same with the sweet denim. I mean the summer denim, I should say, not the sweet denim, the summer denim, and then you've got the Croptober paper. So thank you all for watching me today and enjoying me creating a nice little border, decorative border, using the pumpkin patch punch and making that little cluster of our flowers down the bottom. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button, hit the bell so you can get notifications when I post my videos up. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you everybody. Happy scrapping.